Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And today we are continuing our streak of talking about all things fandom. We didn't really plan it to be this way.
No, it's true.
But it turned out to be this way.
We are in sync.
We are in sync. This is also when I always go to Dragon Con every year. You can see our recent happy hour we just did on that about what I think is going to happen. And then soon you can hear our post happy hour about what happens. I also forgot to mention in that pre-happy hour that I got my hair cut. And I do it every year for Dragon Con.
Yeah, I was going to compliment you.
And when I walked in, because I only go once a year right before Dragon Con, she was like, "It's you."
She was ready.
Yeah. And she said she was going to start like researching into how to do, because I showed her what other cosplayers do for Luke Skywalker. And She was like, "Oh, I'm going to look into this." I was like, okay.
I love it.
Yes. So I was telling Samantha, I actually wrote this outline a long time ago, and I am going to keep it short because it's really long, but I'm just going to hit kind of the main points because I was really feeling a lot of emotions when I wrote this. But today we are talking about another reason I need toxic fandom to go away. And this is so I can complain about how much I didn't like The Acolyte.
Oh, so you did watch it. You've seen this.
I did. And I really didn't like it. That's putting it nicely. You should see how many like full caps things are in this outline.
Oh, no.
Yes. And, to be honest, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to like it when I read what it was about because it just had so many things that I'm like, I really don't. That's like one of my least favorite types of relationships. It's kind of the good girl, bad boy thing. I hate that.
Oh, no.
And so it was already going to be a stretch. And then I was like, yes, okay, completely. I cannot stand this. And I wrote a 23-page essay about why I didn't like it. And I researched it. I did interviews. I was so determined to make sure.
You did interviews?
I interviewed people because I was so scared I had drank some kind of Star Wars nostalgia, like Kool-Aid, and was just like, I didn't want to become that person, And so I really I wanted to back up my point.
Okay.
But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. That's why I'm going to try to trim down this very long outline. Because I am sorry. People who did like it, I know how painful it is when something you enjoy gets canceled. And it is still going in the comics. And I know for some people that's not the same, but I have to tell you, there's a lot of the comics that are better than what I think you're seeing on Disney Plus. That's my opinion. So that's not really what I'm here to talk about. I also want to say, obviously, what happened when it came to the racist, misogynistic, homophobic backlash was disgusting. And I don't want to be any part of that. And that's the issue here. That's what I want to talk about. Because they're taking up all of the room. They're so loud. And they attack the creators and the actors. They attack everybody involved. And it's gross. And I need it to go away. For many reasons. Many reasons we've talked about on here before. But this is just another one. This is another one. Because
Fair.
I've talked before about how there's some things, specifically in the Star Wars realm, that I've defended that I actually didn't like. But I appreciate, I want to defend them from this wave of hatred, which, as we've also discussed, a lot of it is run by bots. So they're not only taking up all of the room, they're all the air in the room. They're using bots to help do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's complicated too, in that something very strange happened in this case because there was that contingent, and then there was just a bunch of us that legitimately didn't like it, but we didn't feel like we didn't want to add on. We didn't want to be associated with them. It was a mess. It was a mess. It still is a mess. and I'm so sorry to everyone involved, because that was really awful. And it was one of the first times that Disney actually posted something about it, and it was still not enough. And the actors were like, that's not enough. But it was like one of the first times they actually did that. But I wish that we could have a nice civil discussion about these things. And it doesn't have to be so big. Like, I have these really strong emotions about it, but I'm not going to post about it. I'm not going to do anything hateful about it. But also, I get it's not for me, and that's okay. I do want, like, I was excited in terms of it had a woman as a showrunner, it had a very diverse cast. That was exciting. I want more of that. So I want things like that to get the space. Because the thing is also, like, maybe if they had gotten a second season, maybe I would have liked the second season. It's hard for me to say I would, but maybe I would have. Like, I can't say for sure. And there have been a lot of instances in the Star Wars world where people didn't like things at first, and then they came to like. I mean, look at the prequels right now; they're having a renaissance. I can't even wrap my mind around it, but that people didn't like them at the time. Trust me. So I don't know, but I wish, like, because I was so concerned. Anytime it came up, I didn't want to be associated with this backlash. So I'd just be like, no. And that's really, I wish it wasn't like that, because I think things can get better through having those conversations. And you know, we've talked about like stans and anti-stans, antis before, and I worry that in a lot of these spaces we're going so strong that we're kind of erasing the middle ground, or even like people who really love something but have, you know, a minor complaint, and they're like, you hate it, get out of here. So I just wish we could have a space. And in this case, as discussed, this is often online. I personally suspect a lot of people don't feel, at least how it's portrayed online, I don't think there's as many people who feel that way. But that still impacts you if you see it, if you want to participate in those fanish spaces, and you're getting all of this, I mean, hate or backlash yourself just for saying something. I mean, I've mentioned before, Last of Us 2 is my favorite game. There's a long time where I wouldn't say that unless I was pretty sure that the person wasn't going to go off about it. And I was even reading, I'm going to have to do a whole episode on this, but I was reading the guidelines, updated fanfiction guidelines for AO3, because I was pretty sure I'd run into some activity that is not allowed on AO3. It wasn't bad. It was basically somebody was trying to sell me their art. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is not allowed. Yeah. So I was reading through all the guidelines in a way I hadn't done earlier. And it was interesting because it was talking about the ways that people will attack each other, usually over shipping, of like if you hate a ship someone does, or if somebody hates a ship that you love, like, and the ways that can really, really devolve into something unpleasant for everybody. And so this is just a case of where I'm usually somebody who errs on the side of, it's rare that I dislike something as much as I disliked this. I'm usually much more, you know what, I don't need to think about this. But this impacted the fandom so much. It impacted my fan fiction so much.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that and AI really. But usually I'm much more, okay, I'm going to move on from that.
Right.
So this is a pretty rare case for me, but it was an instance where I was like, I want to complain about this, but I also don't want to be a part of all of this bullshit that's happening. Yeah. So I'm just not going to. And so it was kind of a new experience for me, to be honest. And I don't know. I had a lot of thoughts about it. I wrote a lot about it. But I mean, I also just would love a healthier environment where creators and actors weren't attacked if you didn't like a thing. I would love that. That would be great. But yes, so those are the thoughts I shall give you from this very long outline.
There's definitely conversations in the fact that it is disappointing because it has so much diversity, and kind of like the Eternals, different, but in that way of like, did they get set up to fail? The timing, the way they did it, the way they presented it, the way they edited it, like what did they do? Was it a purposeful we tried, y'all didn't like it, you want white people's only, like type of, or heteronormative types of things, however it needs to be. I've never seen the show, y'all, but like I love Manny Jacinto. I love what he represents in the Asian community as well as in general, just like a good guy, seemingly, like the way he loves his wife, the way he promotes women, like it seems like he's a really cool dude, that he's been working in this industry for so long, and it took a long time to get here. And then something that like kind of a more serious role for him, because, you know, he came from like goofy background ish with like The Good Place. And then like, because you're not the only one. Many people were like, look, we just did not like it. But we also think that there may have been a lax in distribution back, like production, writing, all this, because they did not care as much as they're just filling a quota. Again, I don't know that for sure, but that is like the question mark, because in a lot of this Disney series, that's what it feels like, is like they do subpar work for things that seem what the right would be called woke, which gets accused, you know, and that's a huge thing in this industry, especially like superhero and fantasy series or like movies. Like that has this weird line of who they allow to poke fun at what or commentate on what. So I don't know. I wonder, like, too, because, like, again, you're not the only one. Obviously, it did not do well. It did not, like, other than the shipping and the thirst traps that came through it, thirst reels. I've not heard too many great things, and it's one of those that I wish I did. I would have been interested in seeing this succeed. I think most people would, but like it would have meant a lot for that group of people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I say it like that is because the storyline I feel like that was tricky. And we've talked about this before, because there's a difference between like criticizing writing, because I have my fair amount of criticisms of writing in the Star Wars arena, versus just hating on something because it's woke or you think it's woke.
Right.
And so that's what I want, is I want more space for that to exist. But also, as we've discussed with our recent, some of our more recent takes on superhero movies, is that a company like Disney, a studio like Disney, will come in and they just have like, usually they have final edit privileges. They have all of these things that can really mess up the flow of something or the storytelling of something. And then a lot of the conversation that came out after this, which is a bit more complicated than what we can get into now, is that Disney had to release, so did Netflix, but basically like how many people watch something versus how much it cost. And it was insanely expensive to make this show. But that's been their problem for a long time, is their budgets just balloon and balloon and balloon. And there were a lot of articles about, you know, the original trilogy. They were pretty cheap, actually, and in the scheme of things. So, like, you need to, maybe it would be a good idea to go back to the drawing board and learn how to make something that isn't like $200 million to $800 million.
Right.
And then it wouldn't be such a big loss. Like, oh, we have to cancel this now.
Yeah, I mean, the revamping of indie films is coming back. People are kind of thirsty for something unique.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my goodness me. But I
Thank
said
you for sharing your feelings with us, Anney.
But also the other thing is, like, another part of this is that Andor season 2, from what I understand, is more expensive than Acolyte was. But Andor season 2 has more episodes, is longer, and notably, it was critically acclaimed. So the critical acclaim part does help, but it was very expensive. I remember reading that. I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm watching it before Dragon Con. I am watching it before Dragon Con.
Okay. Gotta get it done. Gotta get it done.
I gotta get it done. It's just like, it's intense. It's intense. Because it's like the Empire taking over. And I'm like, right now, this is sort of a...
Yeah, it's too rough.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, and it leads up into Rogue One, which we all know is your favorite.
Ugh, you like me.
I didn't lie to you. I just forgot that you didn't know what I knew.
You tricked me.
I still feel bad about that. I'm sorry. Okay.
Trickery.
Well, thanks for letting me have a semi-minute session about this. There's a reason I let it sit for so long.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need to step away from this for a minute.
I need to take a minute.
Yes, I need to take a minute. And yes, truly, to anybody who enjoyed it, I'm really sorry, because it sucks. I've lost some shows I liked, and it's miserable. But that's when you go to the fan fiction, and
yes.
But they are still writing.
Corrected.
They are still writing comics. So,
okay.
And I promise you, those. I never thought I'd be like a avid Star Wars comic reader, but some of them are really, really good. So check them out if you're still hurting, I would say. Yes. Well, listeners, if you have any thoughts about this, please let us know. You can email us at hello@stuffInevertoldyou.com. You can find us on Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast, or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff Will Never Told You. We're also on YouTube, and we have a new place to get merch called Cotton Bureau. So go check that out. We also have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks, as always, to our super producer, Christina, our executive producer, Maya, and our contributor, Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite shows.